I think this is a great hire. I've said this yesterday. We spoke about this, Jabba. Speedy, we spoke about this. I mean, both coaches coming from the Lions organization. Ben Johnson going to Chicago, and then Aaron Glenn going to the New York Jets. These were the two best teams with the two most talented teams that were available to take over. I thought Aaron Glenn was a shoo-in for the New York Jets a couple of years ago, but I don't think the Jets organization thought he was ready. I don't. And that's why they hired Robert Saleh, who's very successful over there as a defensive coordinator for the 49ers. But what Aaron Glenn has done this year in the last two seasons, and especially this year, losing some of his top defensive players early in the season, Aiden Hutchinson going down as quick as he did, having, I think, 7.5 sacks early in the season, looked like he was going for Defensive Player of the Year, and then falling out of sort. And this team still staying afloat with all the injuries. I think they had 7 or 8 very important injuries, and making the safety play just as important as the cornerback play on this team. I mean, Aaron Glenn absolutely deserves a coaching job. Dan Campbell came out today, and he was very happy. He heard that Aaron Glenn got the job, and he said, it's about time somebody gave this guy a chance. This guy is not only a leader, this is a leader of men, and a leader that can take you to the next level. He said that I'd take him back in a split second if nobody was going to hire this guy. This guy is definitely the right guy. He's been here before. He knows what it takes. Well, he doesn't know what it takes to win with the Jets because the Jets never won, but he knows what it takes to play here in New York and get the fans on his side. I think he's a New York guy. He was drafted by the Jets. I think the Jet fans love this. I think this is exciting. This is something that you want to see. Rex Ryan wasn't a Jet. Adam Gase wasn't a Jet. Eric Mangini was a Patriot. All these guys. Robert Saleh wasn't a Jet. Finally, the Jets get it right. I think they really did get it right this time. They hired a Jet, a guy that has deserved a position. He should have been hired last year for a head coaching job. He didn't get a chance because there were so many prolific guys available last year, and so many people talking about this guy and that guy. His name was not being brought up. This year, he was a hot guy. Him and Ben Johnson and Brian Flores were the 3 hot guys. And the fact that the Jets got one of the hot guys, that's a win for the New York Jets. And he wanted to be here. He came out and said his team of choice was always the New York Jets. It wasn't the Saints, who was crying to him to come for that second interview. He said, I'm going to the Jets first. And by the way, my friend, Eric, if you're listening to it right now, I know you called me and you tell me when it's a done deal, you call me, you let me know. And I told you when it came out, breaking news, and I know Owen sent me a text and everybody was sending me, Jeff was calling me, everybody was calling me, that Aaron Glenn. I knew it already. I heard about it through somebody I know that works for the Jets, that it's a done deal. He left to go to Detroit to tell the Detroit Lions that he's heading to New York. He will be announced on Monday, probably Monday or Tuesday, as the new New York Jets head coach. And I guarantee you in the next 24 to 48 hours, you're going to hear that the Jets hired the new GM. That was the only reason why the Jets hired the head coach over the GM situation. It's usually GM first, head coach, because if the Jets didn't seal a deal with him, he was probably going to the Saints, and he was probably going to get the contract with the Saints. It's a great move for the New York Jets. You should be happy as a Jet fan that you got a guy that understands how to win, one, and how to keep a containment in a locker room, controlling players, not to go out to the sources of the media and throwing the team under the bus. Them signing Aaron Glenn means Aaron Rodgers is gone. Aaron Rodgers is not staying with the Jets. The reason why the Jets brought Aaron Glenn in is because he understands how to work with younger guys. I do not believe Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Them signing Aaron Glenn only tells me Aaron Rodgers is gone, and so is, Adams and everybody. And I think a lot of those guys, all those Green Bay Packers that they brought in, they're all gone. I do believe they're going to go young now. They're a young team. I know I think I was talking to Fish, and he says they're an old young team. No, they're not. They're an absolute young team. CJ Mosley is gone. I mean, half of those guys, Reed is going to be gone. Smith will be gone. Morgan Moses is going to be gone. This is going to be a young roster, and a very talented young roster. And who's better to teach guys like Sauce Gardner how to be a Jet in Aaron Glenn, who was one of the best corners the Jets have ever had. Everybody keeps talking about all the guys that they had, Revis, and then Cromartie, and all those. Did anybody forget about Aaron Glenn, who was there before them and was as good? I wouldn't say he was good as Revis, but he was for 4 years. I mean, you could say he was one of the top 3 corners in the NFL. So he knows what it is and what it takes to win and be a top-end corner. Sauce is going to really benefit from it. Carter is going to be really beneficial from it. I mean, this is great for the Jets. Fans, I'm telling you, this is a great hire. This is a fantastic, fantastic hire. I'm excited. I just want to see. Don't get too excited because I do believe this season is going to be a build-up season. I think the Jets are not going to be very good. They're going to have to figure out, are they going to go into the draft this year? Are they going to go with Quentin Ewers? Is that what they're going to do? They're going to draft him in the 2nd round and because that's where he's probably going to fall. Or do they trust Jordan Travis to be their future? Or do they wait until next year where Arch Manning will probably go in the draft and they make a run after him? I don't know. But this is going to probably be the first year is always a lost season. If they do any better than we expect them, like I don't know, maybe Washington and they win 10 games with Aaron Glenn, that's a win-win. I just don't think that's going to happen in the AFC East.